Business is something that honestly a lot of Christians kind of misunderstand. Somewhere along the line, people started thinking that making money from your gifts meant you were, I don't know, less spiritual. As if business and ministry were two totally separate worlds. But in the Bible, they're actually deeply connected. God designed the marketplace, not as some kind of distraction, but as a real tool for impact. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 24 says, "She makes linen garments and sells them. She supplies the merchants with sashes." This woman wasn't just running errands. She was running a full-blown business with manufacturing, marketing, distribution, and client relationships. And the Bible calls her virtuous, not materialistic. You know, God never condemned trade. In fact, he blessed it when it was done with honesty and excellence. Now let's look at Lydia in Acts 16. She sold purple cloth. That's a luxury fabric for the rich. She was a businesswoman, and actually one of the first people God used to support Paul's ministry in Europe. That's not just a side hustle, that's divine placement. All throughout Scripture we see people selling goods, managing operations, and building wealth through trade. The parable of the talents, that's investing and trading. The merchants in the temple, Jesus didn't flip tables because they were selling, but because they were cheating. Solomon's empire, built in part on international trade routes and fair commerce. Trade and business, when done with integrity, can be your calling, not a compromise. And today, you don't need a storefront or a warehouse. You can start with a phone, an idea, and a willingness to serve. Sell your designs online, package your skill into a service, turn your creativity into content or consulting. The world pays for solutions, and if God gave you one, you're meant to release it. And please hear this clearly. There is nothing unholy about making money when your hands are clean and your heart is right. Your business can be your ministry when it blesses people, solves real problems, and reflects God's character. Let me ask you this, what if you're waiting for a calling, but God is waiting for you to launch? What if your struggle isn't because you lack resources, but because you buried the gift you were meant to trade? You don't need more prayer meetings before starting that idea. You need action, faith, and obedience.